From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You are watching the Weather NorCal here. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here, and it is Monday. Now, we're going to be starting off with some pretty mild temperatures. By the way, just want to give you a quick update here. You'll notice the computer is going to be a little glitchy. It's still doing its job. It's doing 100% of its job. I am having a few issues getting it into the green screen, what we call chroma key that is here. So it will be a little choppy. But keep in mind that the weather computer is still doing 100% of its job. All right, just want to let you know that. All right, it's going to be a mild start to the week. It's going to be a warming trend after that, though, after today, really. It's going to be a beautiful start to the week, but yeah, getting much warmer. We knew that wasn't going to last forever, right? Now, the mini heat wave, I'm going to call it that, that will peak sometime toward the end of the week and into the first part of the weekend, but another cooling trend going into next week. All right, we're going to get into all of that here, but first, here's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Monday, August 18th. You're going to be heading out the door this morning. You'll notice it's actually, you might even say cool for the valley because temperatures are only going to be in the mid-60s. See, there's that glitchiness I was talking about. Mid-50s for Trinity County, low to mid-50s out towards Siskiyou County, and right around 60 for the eastern mountains. So you can see that spin, that counterclockwise spin of that low pressure system over the Gulf of Alaska. That's actually going to be moving out. That's what's keeping our temperatures down, by the way. But as it moves out, it's going to allow heat to build back in later on this week. More on that a little bit later here, but the winds, you know, they're not a concern. A little breezy this afternoon, but not even quite reaching that 20-degree mark in most cases for the valley. So that's going to mean fairly low fire weather risk here for today and really over the next few days. Now, looking at Futurecast, the main reason I'm pulling this out is because I want to show you the lack of cloud cover we're going to see even for the coast. I think the coast will see plenty of sunshine here throughout the day today, even as we go into tonight. Tomorrow morning, you're not going to see a lot of fog developing, maybe around Eureka, Humboldt Bay, but otherwise, clear skies, even for tonight. So for today, you're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. You look at the map here, you're not seeing one 90-degree reading even for the valley. Absolutely gorgeous start to the week. But again, we know that's not going to last forever. It is August here in Northern California. We knew it was only a matter of time. Temperatures back in the 90s for the valley by tomorrow, upper 90s by Wednesday, and back into the triple digits by the end of the week, around Thursday, Friday. For the coast, mid-60s, partly to mostly cloudy skies eventually by Wednesday into the end of the weekend. For the inland areas and for Trinity County, you're back in the 90s by tomorrow or Wednesday and triple digits by Thursday and Friday. We take you off to Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains. Also seeing that warming trend. Could see some close to 100 degrees here, especially for Susanville, by the time we get to the end of the week and into the first part of the weekend. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. So a quick look at the fires, and there's really not a whole lot to report, folks, here. The main fire that's still active and is something that we need to keep our eyes on here, a couple of fires actually. Number one, the Big Cliff Fire. As of 9:09 a.m. on the 15th, so just a few days ago, 971 acres, 45% contained. So we don't have that 100% containment there, but this will be the last time I'm reporting on the green fire because it is now 100% contained. Last report, it did burn 19,022 acres. We take a look at the Orleans complex, and latest report was 22,144 acres, at 88% containment. And that's really about it when we're talking fires. So really, we're doing quite well here. And not even seeing a lot of smoke coming from those fires either. Now, as I mentioned, the winds aren't that much of a concern. Nothing unusual going on here. We're going to see your typical winds dying down in the morning. By the afternoon, those winds start to kind of pick back up again here, but nothing alarming, nothing to be really concerned about. Even on Wednesday, those winds will start to kind of pick up here later on in the afternoon. So what does that mean for our fire weather risk? Well, how about moderate? I mean, you've got a lot of greens and yellows on the map, but we're not seeing any orange. The orange indicates the high fire weather risk, which is pretty typical in August, but we're not seeing that here. And it's not really towards, say, Wednesday or Thursday that we may get back into that high range as those temperatures do start to increase. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast and the latest on the fires here. And before we get to the deeper dive, let's talk about the free Weather NorCal app real quickly. Because, you know, there are a lot of free apps out there, but they're AI generated. What's cool about the Weather NorCal app, it's a forecast going into the app. It's a forecast that's generated by me, not AI. So you're going to get the most accurate, most reliable forecast that you can get on your phone, and from a meteorologist that's been here for over 25 years. So you're getting the experience of a seasoned meteorologist in this area, getting the accuracy and the personalization that you want, deserve, and expect out of an app. So go to the free Weather NorCal app store and check it out. Go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, put a space between Weather and NorCal, and download the app for free today. I think you'll be really satisfied with the results that you get out of it because it's going to be your best local source for that information. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the forecast here, shall we? And we're going to start off by talking about this area of low pressure right here. This is the reason why we are starting off with these mild temperatures to start off the week. But this will eventually move back up to the northeast. High pressure over the desert southwest will start to build in, and that is going to generate the heat that we will see later on this week. And the other thing, again, I want to illustrate, it's not only today that we're going to see the mainly clear skies here, even for the coast here this afternoon, but going into your Tuesday as well. I'm not even seeing a lot of fog developing here overnight tonight or tomorrow morning. And by Tuesday afternoon, you can see still a lot of sunshine for the coast. Maybe some afternoon cumulus clouds, by the way, developing for some of the higher elevations, but no rain, no thunderstorms. And then that marine layer looks like it does return by Wednesday for the coast, unfortunately. So here's what's going on with the warming trend. This is the mild air that's pushing down to the south. It's keeping this heat off to our east. What happens is this is going to move up to the north. That is going to make room and way for this ridge of high pressure to start to build in. Now, by midweek, we'll notice temperatures increasing, but we're really going to notice them by Thursday and Friday as this builds even stronger and closer to us. Now we've got that bigger heat coming in, and we're talking 105 degrees, give or take, for parts of the valley. But this, I've got my eyes on because, yes, it's diving down to the south here and really not moving much closer to us, but it is getting stronger, and it's helping to suppress this heat a little bit. So it will be a hot start to next week, but we're going to start to see those temperatures begin to drop. And you can see that on the 10-day trend. There's the peak around Thursday, Friday, 106 to 105, and then temperatures start to slowly dip again after that going into next week. Taking a look at your lake levels, about 66% capacity. And really at first glance, you look at that and go, man, that's getting kind of low. And yes, I'm sure we'd like to see it closer to 100%, but we are still above where we typically are for this time of the year. It's just normal. You know, we need that water. We use that water. We reserve it from all the rain that we get in the winter and the snow, right? And then we use it through the summer. So we do start to see it naturally lower as well, right? But we're going to fill it back up again, hopefully this winter. All right, so here you go. Looking at the wave heights, they're not that much of a concern or an issue here for today. Or how about your Tuesday? Pretty much the same story there. So good news for those of you that do need to be on a small boat. Just note that this morning you'll probably see some patchy, dense morning fog. Otherwise, that should clear out here pretty quickly here as we approach that noon hour. Here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Starting off with Trinity County, you've got temperatures in the mid-80s. Yeah, not bad, right? 87 degrees for Hayfork, 79 degrees for Ruth, but there's that increase. By the Thursday, Friday mark, we're talking temperatures a little over 100 degrees. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the North Coast. And you can see here, this is sponsored by Dignity Health, by the way. Temperatures mid-60s as we take you through the next 7 days. More clouds returning into the picture here by Wednesday, Thursday, and into the weekend. Up north, inland areas, you're back up to about 100 degrees by Thursday, Friday, and that continues into the weekend. Your Dignity Health Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. 70s and 80s for your daytime highs. Just a gorgeous start to the week, but temperatures back into the 90s by Thursday and Friday. For your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, low to mid 80s here, 80 degrees for Tule Lake, 82 in Canby. In El Terce, about 84 degrees. And we take it to the eastern mountains with 87 out in Susanville, 85 for Janesville, and 72 degrees in Viola. Here's your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south. Temperatures here should be somewhere in the mid 80s, 85 for Durham, 86 for Los Molinos and Corning, about 85 degrees. Looking at your 7-day forecast for Chico, those temperatures are going to be back up to about 100 degrees by Thursday, Friday, and that continues at least for the first half of the weekend. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the valley up to the north here, and we've got temperature of about 88 degrees for Redding, 88 degrees for Palisadro, 87 in Cottonwood, Red Bluff about 86 degrees, and 83 in Lakehead. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. And again, not a bad start to the week. We're in the upper 90s by Wednesday and back up 100 degrees or higher by Thursday, Friday, and that continues into the weekend. That is your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Until then, have a great morning.
Fire spreads quickly. Don't wait until it's too late. Garmin's Tractor Service specializes in field mowing and light tractor work to help protect your family, your property, and those around you. We're fully insured, locally licensed, and ready to help you create the defensible space you need. Call or text Garmin's Tractor Service today. Protect what matters before fire strikes you.